This is George Dionne of Metal Express Radio. I'm here with Udo and Sven Dirkschneider of the band U.D.O. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, hello. Very good. Thank you.
Excellent. Let's get right into your upcoming album, We Are One. Was this album always intended to be a collaboration between you and the concert band of the German Armed Forces, or did this start off as a regular U.D.O. metal album?
No, this is not a regular U.D.O. album. That was planned to do this album together with this orchestra. And the sound is like there is for me the symphonic brass orchestra, fits totally together with the songs what we was composing. And
I think we already knew that, when we played the gig in Wacken in 2015 together with the concert band. We were blown away by the energy which was on stage that day. And so we definitely said we need to work together on music for a CD. And they were, totally up for it. And ever since, everybody is burning for this project. And I think it's a lot of fun which came together on this album, and you can hear that.
Yeah, I think fun is the actually perfect description for the album. I think that just the initial news of this album that was coming out, I think people got confused and thought it might have been another project similar to the one you did back in 2015 or 16, where it was cover material, and this time you're doing all original material.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that was also something, First of all, of course, we thought, okay, hey, let's play some U.D.O. tunes where we put an orchestra on. But then there was the idea to write, completely new and fresh material, exactly written for the orchestra and for the band. I think that doesn't really happen that much in the metal scene, especially not with a brass orchestra.
The new album has a running theme of social issues that are affecting the world today. In essence, they've been affecting the world in U.D.O.'s lifetime, my lifetime. Are these topics that you've always wanted to write about?
Yeah, I mean, also, let's say, also on older U.D.O. stuff and accept stuff, he always was writing some social stuff, what's going on in the world, about rights for humans and all that stuff. But in this album, that was definitely planned from the beginning on. We want to send out a message.
Yeah, make a statement.
That's what was definitely wrong in our days now. The climate, all the rights parties and social stuff, political stuff, Big Brother is watching you, and also the resident
refugees,
and all that stuff, And so, but when we was writing the lyrics, there was no corona, and also not this thing what was happened in America, So, and now we are really. Yes, it's the right word, up to date with this album.
Unfortunately, nobody expected that.
Yeah, and that was definitely also right from the beginning that we want to have a message. We don't want to be preachers or something like that, but maybe the lyric what we wrote for this album. I think maybe hopefully the people think a little bit. We only have one planet, and there is no other planet. Maybe one day, but I don't know, not at the moment. And so we have to take care of our planet, and hopefully the people thinking and with little things are changing, it can be helpful.
The first song on the album is called Pandemonium, and that kind of seems like the world we're living in right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so much shit going on all over the world, and it's terrifying, it doesn't matter where you look. There's so many issues going on. And you also have to see, I mean, as you said, first song is called Pandemonium, but what this album is actually about, also try to see what's positive. There are a lot of people who stand up for their rights, and there are a lot of people who try to change their behavior with wasting food and wasting or not really, recycling trash and all that stuff. That's the initial message behind it.
I mean, we have a very strong thing going on here in Europe. I don't know exactly what's going on with this in America. We have the Friday for Future, so that young people, they're making demonstrate that we have to change something, especially with the climate. So, and that was very interesting already. It makes a lot of political
movement,
movement and thinking about this, If you do the right thing, sometimes it works,
I believe in that myself. There's some unusual music pieces throughout the album, such as saxophone, bagpipes, a children's chorus, some Asian-style flutes that would not ordinarily appear on a heavy metal album or an orchestra album.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, the also a good thing about this album is we had a lot of freeness to do a lot of things we definitely couldn't do on a normal U.D.O. album, So that was, as a musician, it was perfect. You can do, in a way, whatever you want, know. So, and that was also really good for learning something sometimes, And then in the end, she said, "Oh, that's very interesting. You can do also something like this." So, and also for us, it was, I think, a good learning process, also good for, also for the orchestra. I mean, they also never did something like this before, And that was very interesting. So in the beginning, when we said, okay, now we give you the songs, and then they start doing the arrangement, we was also in the beginning not really sure they're coming up with the right thing. But then when the first arrangements was coming from the orchestra, it was like, wow. Yeah. That was like, yes, that's the way how it has to be. The whole thing took, in a way, everything together nearly 1 year before everything was done, So there was a lot of work.
Who's the female singer that appears on Blindfold and Neon Diamond?
The name is Manuela Markowitz, and she was working with the orchestra already for, 40 shows or whatever. And so when I my wish was to have a duet on this album with a female singer, so that it's a song in Neon Diamond, and Guido Renner, one of the guys who's doing all the arrangements, he said, yeah, we have a really good female singer, and then we was listening to her, and that's it, So, and also she did a very good work on Blindfold, This song is written for her and the orchestra. I mean, also it's like also not only that songs are with the band, we also have some instrumental stuff. Okay, the band is also playing some drums and guitar stuff, but without vocals, So that also the whole thing is. How you can call this? It's like
it should be like a storyline, to it. And they came up with the instrumentals after all the songs were written in, not say in stone, but they were there, and we knew that these songs gonna end up on the album. And then they sat down and wrote all the instrumentals. And I think this was also something cool for them, because with having the band supporting the orchestra on the instrumental parts, they could also reach new heights for themselves. I mean, there's suddenly an element which they usually don't have. They have percussion, and occasionally there's also a drum set appearing in this orchestra when they play on their own, but there's no electric guitar and an electric bass guitar and a huge metal drum set and playing double bass and stuff like that. So that was great for them, and they had a lot of fun writing these instrumentals.
U.D.O. was supposed to perform a set with the concert band of the German Armed Forces at Wacken Open Air this year, but that was canceled. Yes. Are you guys hoping to reschedule that maybe for next year or on another date?
Yeah.
Know that we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we definitely going to play Wacken 2021 with the orchestra.
Is it true that you were going to perform the entire Accept album Metal Heart to honor its 35th anniversary?
Planned normally for this year, 35 years, But next year is already 36 years. Maybe we do then the Russian roulette album. I don't know. That's a joke. But I don't know. Maybe this is not quite clear at the moment, but definitely the orchestra is clear. But I think that can be happen that we do it. Yeah, the Metal Heart thing next year also in Wacken.
U.D.O. is still touring in support of the Steel Factory album, actually, with an anticipated return to the road this fall. Will you be adding any songs from We Are One to the set?
No, this is not possible. I mean, then you have to arrange the whole thing different. And just that kann nur verlieren.
That you can only lose power.
Yeah.
You know, it would be stupid, and we don't want to put this stuff on tape, you know, and play to an orchestra from tape. That would be stupid, and we don't like to do that. And as my dad said, it can only lose, and we want to. I think it's also very important, and I like it that we keep it special, you know, that we only play these songs with the orchestra together, and don't go out and say, hey, let's just put it on tape and we play to it. That's stupid.
No, I mean, it's also planned that we do some shows with the orchestra. So now, let's say, in a way, it's a little bit positive thing about this Corona thing, you know, that everything is cancelled. So now the album is coming out on the 17th of July. So now we can see what the album is doing, how the people react. Yeah. And then the good thing is then maybe we can do more next year, also going to foreign countries, you know. Exactly. I mean, for them it's possible to play also nearly all over the world. Yeah. Nearly. Yeah. Maybe not the Eastern country at the moment. As the German military orchestra in Russia, I think at the moment is not possible. But yeah, I don't know why. I mean, so that's also stupid things for me. But anyway, I mean, we will see. Maybe, you know, there can be a lot of things next year with the orchestra. It's like really going big, the album. I mean, also the orchestra is open-minded, also the government, you know, the ministry foreign ministry is very open-minded. I mean, it's also good promotion for the orchestra, you know. They also say, yeah, look, we can play, we do things like that, no problem, you know. So, and we will see. At the moment, nobody knows really what's happened next year. So we are using at the moment the time before we sit around and, I don't know, doing whatever. We are working already on the new U.D.O. record slowly. So at the moment we have time enough to do this. Yeah, so the only thing what we at the moment can do is sit and wait.
Sven, did your father encourage you to get into music industry, or was getting into music industry your way of rebelling against him?
Actually, I was growing up with it. So ever since I could think, I was going to concerts and festivals and meeting people who work in the music industry. Doesn't matter as an artist or crew members or managers or promoters or whatever. So whenever I had time and I didn't have to go to school on holidays, we tried to travel as much with him as possible. I started playing the drums when I was 5, and I think I formed my first band when I was maybe 10 or 11. Did a bunch of years with them, and then I actually I finished school and did an apprenticeship as a media operator. But I was working parallel to that. I was already working as a drum tech for different bands and for U.D.O, of course. And it was just a lot of fun to spend a lot of time with the instrument I love, with drums. And of course, being on concerts and festivals and on tour. And after I finished my apprenticeship, I said, okay, there's the time. I need to decide what I want to do. And I decided to go into the music business. Started to work professionally as a drum tech and being a full-on tour crew member. 2015, my dad asked me if I would like to join the band, and I said yes, and I didn't regret it.
Are you guys getting along like bandmates, or are you getting along like father and son when you're out there on the road?
Yeah, this is a little bit different.
It's both. I think it's both worlds combined. You know, I mean, I think it's also a bit of catching up on time, which we didn't have back in the day, because my dad obviously was on tour a lot, so he wasn't home. And we just having a good time on tour, and he's a good drinking buddy as well, which is awesome. And no, it's cool. We just try to enjoy the time. Of course, there are here and there, discussions and family related stuff, but we try to keep it as separate as we can. And this has nothing to do with working as a band together. And but it works out fine. Yeah, and everybody's super happy.
Udo, you've been making music and touring for over 40 years now. A lot of established bands and musicians have been calling it quits recently. Elton John, Leonard Skinner, Peter Frampton, Slayer. Do you see yourself retiring anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. I mean, retiring, a lot of people ask me, you start already thinking retiring? No, I mean, I still have fun to do this, Like at the moment with this album, I'm very excited about this. And I can't wait to go on tour again, I mean, everything is canceled. Normally it was planned to do a long American tour in November, December in Canada. And Russia, a long European tour together with Halloween, South America, so everything is cancelled, Yeah. So that means I'm really looking forward and hopefully everything getting normal next year. And then then there will be a lot of touring coming up. And retiring, I always said, as long I still have fun to do this, as long I'm healthy and my voice is working, so I don't know, maybe another 10 years or whatever. I have no idea.
Well, my dad's working well into his 70s. He's 79, and I think he's talking retirement next year, but I'm not convinced.
79? Yeah, that would be the world record then, as a heavy metal singer,
But to be honest, I can't imagine my dad sitting at home and, just taking care about his plants. It doesn't fit to him.
No, that is definitely not my world. I don't know. This is the most thing where I'm really scared of, to sit home and do, then what can I do? No, this is wrong. This is no.
Right, exactly.
We will see. But at the moment, there's nothing happened to retire or whatever. Maybe I start doing a farewell tour, for 5 years or whatever. The Scorpions did that. The Scorpions did that. That was really successful. And then they came Return Forever. So, no, it was a joke. And I don't know. I mean, I'm really happy. I'm really into that. I'm love to do it. And I mean, I have a really young band around me. That's also a really good thing, It's not like having, don't get me wrong, that when I was looking for a new band member, the bass player and the guitar player, I mean, of course, I can have some guitar players or bass players with names, but I was like, no, I want to have people, unknown people, but really good musicians, fresh and not already like rock stars, So that was the most important thing, and I'm really happy with the band what I have around me at the moment. So very, very good. So everything good. Young blood, giving old blood some pressure.
Thank you for taking the time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.